even if this love disappears from the world tonight. Some people live in fear of the future. Some people live in regret of the past. But Han Seo-yoon lives in something far more painful. She lives only in the present, because tomorrow doesn't belong to her. She doesn't build a future. She doesn't carry a past. She doesn't grow through memory. Han Seo-yoon suffers from anterograde amnesia, a condition that prevents her from forming new long-term memories. Every night when she sleeps, her memories of the day disappear. Every morning, she wakes up in a world she doesn't recognize, with emotions she can't remember earning, and a life she must relearn again and again. Psychologically, this creates a very unique kind of existence, a life without continuity of identity. She doesn't just forget people. She forgets who she becomes with them. The collapse of narrative identity. Psychologists believe that humans construct identity through personal narrative, a story made of memories, experiences, trauma, achievements, and relationships. We are not just who we are who we remember being. Han Seo-yoon cannot form a narrative self. Her identity does not evolve. It does not accumulate. It does not integrate experience. She lives in what psychology calls temporal fragmentation of self. This creates emotional disorientation, weak sense of self, identity instability, dependence on external structure, notes, recordings, reminders. She must outsource her identity to objects, diaries, photos, notes, messages, recordings. Her memory lives outside her brain. Her self is stored in paper and ink. This is psychologically devastating because identity becomes externalized, not internalized. The psychological meaning of memory loss. Memory is not just recall. Memory is emotional regulation. Without memory, you can't process grief. You can't integrate trauma. You can't emotionally mature. You can't learn emotional safety patterns. So Seo-yoon's emotional system is frozen in repetition. She experiences first love again and again, first heartbreak again and again, first fear again and again, first attachment again and again. This is not healing. This is emotional looping. Psychologically similar to trauma repetition syndrome. Her mind is trapped in psychological Groundhog Day, defensive psychology, controlled attachment. Han Seo-yoon doesn't avoid love because she doesn't feel. She avoids love because she feels too much, so her psyche develops. Controlled attachment style. Not fully avoidant, not fully anxious, but emotionally regulated detachment. She loves gently, attaches carefully, limits emotional dependency, avoids future promises, avoids long-term expectations because permanence creates suffering. Her brain learns, if I cannot keep love, I must not build my life on it. This is adaptive detachment, a trauma-based survival pattern, not coldness, not indifference, but self-preservation, love as repeated psychological birth. Every day she falls in love as if for the first time. This is psychologically brutal, because love normally develops through trust accumulation, shared memory, emotional history, safety building, conflict resolution. She has none of that. So love becomes pure emotional stimulus. No context, no history, no foundation, just feeling. This creates emotional vulnerability without psychological protection. She feels deeply but has no emotional armor, which makes every connection intense, fragile, unstable, overwhelming. She is emotionally naked in every relationship. Implicit memory versus explicit memory. This is the core psychological tragedy. She loses explicit memory, events, facts, people, but keeps implicit memory, emotions, body responses, nervous system reactions. So, her mind forgets faces, Her body remembers safety. Her heart remembers warmth. Her nervous system remembers love. This causes somatic confusion. She feels trust without memory. She feels attachment without story. She feels love without reason. This creates anxiety, confusion, and emotional instability. Her body knows something her mind cannot explain. Sleep as psychological death. For Seo-yoon, sleep is not rest. Sleep is loss. Sleep is erasure. Psychologically, this creates anticipatory grief, fear of unconsciousness, fear of emotional disappearance, fear of identity loss. Every night becomes a symbolic funeral of the self. She doesn't just lose memories, she loses versions of herself. The girl who loved today dies tonight. Existential psychology, life without continuity. Existentially, she represents the fear of impermanence. She lives what philosophers call radical impermanence of self. No stable identity, no stable relationships, no stable future, no stable emotional continuity. Yet she still chooses to live. She still chooses connection. This is existential courage. Seo-yoon teaches us a terrifying truth, that memory is not what makes love real. Time is not what makes love meaningful. Permanence is not what gives connection value. Presence does. She shows us that even one day of love can change a life. Even one moment of connection can shape a soul. Even temporary love can be real love. Because love is not measured in years, it is measured in depth. And even if this love disappears from the world tonight, it still mattered. It still existed. It still changed something. It was still love.